What if I told you the way you organise your music is holding you back from playing the best sets of your life? Well, I'm telling you that, I just told you. If you're used to manually editing ID-free tags, creating playlists like a peasant, dragging things in, I'm going to change your life today with a feature in Rekordbox you might not know about called My Tags. There's a few really powerful reasons why you might want to use tags in your music management. The first is that you can create intelligent playlists, which means Rekordbox can automatically pull together different combinations of tracks. The second is if you are using streaming services like Tidal or Beatport Link, you can't actually edit the information within them. Sometimes it's incomplete, such as here we haven't even got a genre, and tags are the only way you can add any information to these tracks. The third is that it gives you really powerful ways to filter your tracks, either in the track preparation stage or while you're actually playing your set live. If you're coming from CDJs, you might have noticed the tag list button on the devices, and that's really just a way of flagging what tunes you're going to play next as opposed to tagging them with metadata. We're in Rekordbox now and I've added a couple of tracks already, set the cue points, corrected the BPM. If you want to learn how to do that really fast, I've made another video on that, so check that out. To access the tags menu, you just click on this little tag icon over here on the right, and that brings up a load of presets that Rekordbox will have already set for you. Now these I've already customized to be what I want them to be. Yours will probably look different, but it's really easy to rename these categories. Or if you don't like the idea of mood, you could change this to time of night. You just simply double click on it, put whatever you want in there. If you want to add more tags to these, you'll see these little tiny plus icons at the bottom of the list. You just click on that, add whatever you want, and press enter. If you want to remove a tag, right click, delete. These can be useful to view in the file browser as well, so if you want to do that, right click on one of the columns up here, and then you should see My Tag down the bottom there. I've already tagged this tune incorrectly with piano and brass, just as an example. If you watch what happens when I uncheck those, you'll see they get removed from that list there. You can tag multiple tunes at once. All you do is select all the tracks either with your mouse or Command and A, or Command and clicking. I know these are all drum and bass, so I'm just going to tick that on the genre. I know they're all very well-known tracks, so I've got a specific category for that called Anthem, so I'm going to check that as well. And you can see it slowly starts to build up this list of tags in that column there. Also know this track has got a vocal in it, so I can just select a vocal under my components here. And you can see how this starts to give us some really rich data around what these tunes contain and what tunes are likely to go together. It can be a really interesting way of creating combinations, particularly if you're an open format DJ. For example, if I tag this one with brass because maybe it's got some saxophone and this one as well, that's a very nice way of being able to match tunes without necessarily having them live in the same genre. If you're on CDJs, you're going to want to enable this option here. So if you go to the cog icon, then advanced, and then browse, you'll see this add my tag to the comments section, and what this will do is essentially add that field to the ID-free tag of your MP3s, which means you can access them on your CDJs. To be honest, they're not as easy to use on CDJs as they are if you're connected to your laptop, but you can still use them in your track preparation stage. I'm going to show you now the powerful filtering that tagging your tracks enables. If you look up to the top right and next to the search bar, you should see this little icon which opens the filter menu. On the right hand side, we've now got a list of all our tags here that we've added to our tracks. And what we can do now is create some really interesting combinations. Let's say I'm in the middle of my set. I've been playing some bangers. I want to bring the energy level down a little bit. I can choose drum and bass tracks, a low medium energy level. Let's say the outgoing tune has some saxophone in it. I can also select brass here, and it will show me beneath all the tracks that contain that matching element. This is really interesting, an extra layer of tune matching you can do when you're playing your sets, and can help you really create some interesting transitions and sets that feel a lot more cohesive. Because you can add more than one tag in a category, you can use these logic operators here at the top of the columns. If I want to get really specific, I can look for brass tunes that also have piano in them, and that gets me down to this one tune here. Or you can use it as a simple OR. That means find anything that has piano or brass or electric guitar or catchy riff. So this is generally going to expand your search results, whereas the AND will reduce them. If you want to reset those filters, you'll see this little RST button over on the right hand side underneath the search bar. Just hit that and clear everything and you'll get your full list back again. The final thing I'm going to show you is creating smart playlists using tags. If you're not familiar with smart playlists, they're a really powerful rules engine within Rekordbox which will essentially create playlists for you based on criteria you define. To access that, you right click on playlists and do create new intelligent playlist. Most of the fields here come from the ID free tags, but we're going to dive into the My Tag section, so select that here on the first drop down. Then if we move over to the one it's highlighted for us, we can see all our tags that we have available across our entire collection. I want to create some high energy drum and bass. First of all, I'm going to select the genre. Unfortunately, Rekordbox doesn't actually title these different sections, so hopefully they'll improve that, but it's pretty obvious what they are. I'm going to choose drum and bass, and what's really cool is you can start to stack these. I'm going to add a second rule because I want drum and bass that's high energy, so I click another plus, select My Tag again, and then in the energy section, I want to select high. And as soon as I click OK, that's going to build up a playlist for me, pulling in any tune in my whole collection that matches that criteria. And as you can see, we've instantly created a playlist of 770 tracks without having to do hardly any manual work at all. The last thing I'm going to show you is how you can use tags to help you find related tracks. You might know about the related tracks feature in Rekordbox. I've got a track loaded up here. You open that with this little 2 dots with a line in between them here, and this shows you typically tracks that are matched by BPM and key. What you can also do here is add matching by My Tag. If you go into the tiny little settings cog here up by the BPM and key title, you'll see down the bottom here we've got a My Tag option. You can check that. The default option is to match all of the items. This means it will only show you tracks that have exactly the same tags. A better way of using this is to change that option to match any of the items, and this will show you a list of tracks that match at least one of the tags in the currently playing tune. To be honest, I don't really use this. It's a bit of a blunt force tool, but it's good to know it's there. There are a few limitations to this that it's worth being aware of, particularly if you use CDJs. You can access them on the filter menu on CDJ 3000, but they're about 18 levels deep, and really I found them to be a bit of a pain in the arse to use. But you can still use them within Rekordbox to create playlists intelligently and save you loads of time. So even if you are on CDJs, it's still worth doing, still worth tagging them in this way. You just might not be able to access them from the player itself. I moved over to using tags a couple of years ago, and I think it's really helped me be able to navigate my music library in a much richer way and create really good and flowing sets. You can really make these tags your own, and I'd love to see how you're using them in Rekordbox at the moment, or if you have any ideas for categories of tags. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.